Around 9:52 a.m., the emergency dispatch center got a report that a vehicle had struck pedestrians.
Chaos on campus, and it only got worse. A car plows into a crowd of students, and it's no accident.
There's kind of high-speed sound. At first, I felt some car might have some lost control, but then I saw the car being, it was intentional hitting of students. So
dozens of students poured out of OSU's Watts Hall because of a fire alarm. They were crowded together when the car hit. That's when the driver started swinging a knife.
He got out with his knife and started chasing a student with it swinging at him.
A man triggered a fire alarm, and when students evacuated the building, he started slashing at them with a knife, and the police are calling it a machete.
Some students ran to help the injured. Then they ran for their lives.
Thought maybe I could help some of the injured people there, and that was until I heard gunshots. And after the gunshots, I fled into the basement of Watts Hall.
An OSU officer happened to be near Watts when the pedestrians were hit. The right place at a dreadful time.
At 9:53, an OSU PD officer called out on the radio that shots were fired. He engaged a suspect who had gotten out of the vehicle after hitting pedestrians. The suspect cut multiple individuals. The officer engaged the suspect and shot and killed the suspect.
What's your emergency?
Hi, I'm at Ohio State, right outside of Watts Hall, and there was a guy crashed his car into a bunch of people and ran out with a knife chasing down people.
Shock and horror on the Ohio State University campus as an attack leaves 11 people injured. The suspect is dead.
Tonight we're learning more about the suspect and the officer who helped stop the attack. Now the attacker has been identified as Abdul Razik Ali Artan. He was an OSU student and legal permanent resident of the United States from Somalia. Police say he drove a car right into a crowd on campus, then got out of the car and started stabbing and slashing people. Within 2 minutes, police say that OSU police, Alan Horchikal, shot and then killed Artan. We have live team coverage tonight. Olivia Fecto is live at a prayer vigil for the victims of that attack. Tyler Carter is live with more information on how those victims are doing.
Matt Edwards is live at a Columbus residence that is being searched right now. Police believe it is connected to the attack. But we begin tonight with Ted Hart, live on the OSU campus where he has been throughout the day, with more on exactly what happened during this hectic assault. Ted?
And Colleen, the police response was swift and massive this morning, and for a couple of hours there was just this uncertainty that hung over the campus, the north end of the campus, because they didn't know for sure whether there might be another suspect or more suspects still at large on campus. In the end, though, as you said, there was just one suspect who was shot dead by a police officer within a couple of minutes of the suspect having driven his car into the crowd of students and then jumping out and lunging at students with a knife. Students and staff were told to shelter in place, that there was an active shooter situation, and they did. They hunkered down in bathrooms. They hunkered down in dorm rooms and in classrooms. They barricaded themselves inside those rooms. One of the students that we spoke to was a fourth-year engineering student who had been in Watts Hall, went out with the fire alarm and witnessed the accident, and then after heard gunshots, he took shelter in the basement of Watts Hall with a number of others. Here's what he had to say. So you were in the basement with a professor who was one of the injured?
Yes, I was.
How badly was he hurt?
A lot of blood coming out of his ankle. Yeah, it looked pretty serious. He was calm, surprisingly calm. He took everything really well. He walked himself down there. We just made him sit down, try to elevate his ankle. We looked for a first aid kit and just waited for the paramedics to get there.
That professor was later identified, confirmed by his daughter as William Clark, a professor of engineering here on campus, and he was among those who was taken to the hospital to be treated. And at this point, we saw about half an hour ago, they drove away with a tow truck. They drove away the suspect's car. The crime scene search investigators have been here throughout most of the day, collecting any bits of evidence that there might be here at the crime scene. As I say, they did haul the car away here within the last hour. That's the latest from here. Back to you, Mike and Colleen.
Alrighty, thanks so much, Ted. Now, right now, Columbus police are searching a Columbus home believed to be connected to the vehicle used in that attack. NBC4's Matt Edwards is live with more on what's going on at that location. Matt?
Mike, the crime took place on campus, but the trail has led law enforcement to this apartment complex about 12 miles away on the west side of Columbus. And perhaps some clues as to why this happened will be found at this residence, which NBC4 has learned has ties to that vehicle used in the attack. As you had mentioned, the registration led police and law enforcement back to this area on the west side. As for the door that they've been guarding, the apartment they've been guarding, neighbors say it's not unusual for a high volume of activity to be seen at the home.
I mean, there was a lot of people that went in and out of their house regularly. Of course, they had a lot of family, which, I mean, I don't know if you've seen today, which a lot of them went out in police cars, which there was probably about 20 of them that they took away in the police cruisers today.
And police have been on the scene now for about 8 hours, and I can tell you for about the last three and a half hours, it's been a pretty stagnant scene. As I'm told, the Franklin County Sheriff's Department is currently guarding the scene to wait until federal authorities can show up at the residence and conduct their own investigation. And again, the suspect, the vehicle he was in, believed to be tied to this residence. We're not sure if he lived here, if it's a place he frequented, but certainly after 8 hours of law enforcement being here, they certainly believe they have reason to search the area. Live on the west side of Columbus tonight, Matt Edwards, NBC4.
Thanks so much, Matt. Now, some of the victims were hit by the car driven by the suspect. Others were stabbed, as you heard, when he jumped out of the car swinging that knife. All of them ended up at 3 local hospitals. NBC4's Tyler Carter is live at the OSU Wexner Medical Center with more on the victims. And Tyler, I know 6 of them were taken there.
Yes, Colleen, we did learn through a press conference earlier, not too long ago, that there are now a total of 11 victims. Like you said, 6 of them were taken here to Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. 2 of those victims were undergraduate students, 2 graduate students, a professor and a staff member. We also heard from Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. She talked about how she praised the Ohio State campus for their advanced alert system, how they notified students and faculty in getting them to safety. Let's take a look at and hear what she has to say.
The alert system. What was so incredibly unique and life-saving was the alert system that students got that message and they acted appropriately.
Now, Mayor Ginther, he wanted to thank the first responders as well as Governor John Kasich. He says this is something that the Ohio State and the Columbus community will grow from. The campus will open back up tomorrow. Back to you guys in the studio.
Alrighty, thanks so much, Tyler. Tonight there are several vigils and prayer services all scheduled as the Ohio State community comes together to support the victims of that attack. NBC4's Olivia Fecto live at a local church with more on the reaction to today's shooting. Olivia.
Yeah, Mike, I think we can all agree this has been a very difficult day for everyone in the Ohio State community. Tonight, faith leaders from the community and from the campus community are coming together to help guide students and the Ohio State community through this tragedy that has occurred here today. Here at the St. Thomas More Newman Center, a mass is going on right now where they've invited people to come in and light a candle to come in and heal from this event. Earlier today, we talked to students on campus who were having a variety of different emotions about this. Some of them obviously felt really unsettled by everything that had gone on. Another one told us that because of the response from police who were able to apprehend that suspect so quickly, they said they feel safe and they have no trouble coming back to class tomorrow. One of the pastors we talked to tonight, though, said that regardless of what people went through today, having these prayer vigils or these masses is a good way for some in the campus community to come together and to heal.
What we're doing is we're opening our doors to everyone, which they're always open, but especially today, to come in, to pray, to come in, to be community together, to come in and know that there is hope in the midst of tragedy.
Now, this mass comes after a prayer vigil that was held earlier this afternoon at Jacob's Porch, which is on 13th Avenue near campus. A little later tonight, in about an hour, there will be another vigil that's put on by St. Stephen's Episcopal Church. And, of course, everyone is encouraged to come out and join no matter what their faith is. We are live here at St. Thomas More Newman Center. Olivia, NBC4.
Thanks so much, Olivia. Ohio Governor John Kasich was among those who spoke at the most recent update on the attacks, praising how quickly first responders put an end to a potentially deadly situation.
It is remarkable what these first responders did. I mean, there'll be a lesson for all across America and all the campuses across America about what you do when things like this happen.
We will continue to have coverage of this story throughout NBC4 at 6, and stay with NBC4i.com for all the information we get about this attack and full updates tonight at 11 o'clock.
Coming up next, students react to what they saw and what they heard when the attack occurred. And Dave?
And rain showers are picking up this evening across our area. Temperatures, though, are very mild. 54 right now. Will drop about a degree as the rain picks up through the evening hours tonight. Winds are also going up as well. We'll tell you how long this will last and look ahead to our next stronger cold front in just a few minutes.
The details of the attack on the Ohio State campus continue to emerge tonight after a morning of just downright confusion and a lot of conflicting reports.
Yeah, the university issued a series of tweets warning students that there was an active shooter and that they should, quote, run, hide, and fight. NBC4's Sean Lanier spoke to students about what they saw and heard today during all that chaos on campus.
And many students said their mornings began just like any other until they started receiving messages and alerts on their phones.
I was sitting in my dorm room about to go to class.
That's when she received a call on her phone warning her of the potential danger on campus.
You're not going anywhere because there's someone on your campus with a gun.
Whether it was a call from a loved one or a message from OSU, you were told to take shelter and to not move. That left many students stuck inside their dorms with a feeling of disbelief. This wasn't something they thought would happen here.
You don't really ever think that it could happen like close to you.
You know, you never want to see something like this happen that close to home, and it's scary.
Many students say the updates kept them calm during this situation. Reporting from campus, Sean Lanier, NBC4.
And our coverage of the Ohio State University campus attack that left 11 people injured will continue. Meanwhile, Storm Team 4 is tracking rain in central Ohio tonight. Dave?
Yeah, it's been a pretty dry month, but things are starting to pick up at the tail end. We've got more rain moving into our backyards this evening. We'll talk about how much rain we can expect and how long it will last. Plus, look ahead to more December-like temperatures coming up right after the break.
We continue to learn more about the attack on the Ohio State University campus that left 11 people injured, the suspect dead. And here's what we know right now.
We know that just before 10 a.m., a car crashed into a group of people outside of Watts Hall on the OSU campus. Witnesses and police say the suspect got out of the car and started slashing and stabbing people. Within 2 minutes, he was shot and killed by a nearby Ohio State police officer. Within the next few hours, we've learned the identity of the suspect and the shooter. The suspect is Abdul Razik Ali Artad. He's an Ohio State student and legal permanent resident of the United States who was born in Somalia. The officer is identified as Alan Harouk. All 11 victims are expected to survive.
NBC4's Matt Edwards is live at a Columbus residence that police believe is connected to the vehicle used in that attack. Matt?
Yeah, Mike and Colleen, we were told earlier in the day that the registration to that vehicle led police here to a residence on the west side of Columbus. They were here less than an hour after the police arrived to the scene on campus, and ever since then, they have been out here. They've been out here for more than 8 hours now, talking to different neighbors and gathering whatever information they can. Columbus Police Department, Franklin County Sheriff have all been out here throughout the day. They're now waiting on federal authorities to come, and they will take over the case. They are currently trying to get a search warrant to go inside and search this residence believed to be connected to the vehicle and therefore potentially connected to the suspect in some way, shape, or form. We did talk to a neighbor, many neighbors earlier today, and one of them told us more about the people they know who live in that residence.
Fairly decent person. I mean, he spoke when spoken to, had very nice mannerisms, wasn't rude, wasn't disrespectful. They kept to themselves for the most part. I mean, the only problem I ever had with anybody next door was the loudness at night. After 9:30 at night, it became loud. There was a lot of traffic in and out of the house.
A law enforcement official I spoke to earlier told me they expect a long, long day. It's now turned into what's surely expected to be a long, long night. Live on the west side of Columbus tonight, Matt Edwards, NBC4.
Thanks so much, Matt. Social media, a focal point for students and their families following that attack today, with many people checking in on Facebook to see who was safe and where they might be.
Many people use the social media to also react to the attack during and after it all happened. NBC4's Ellie Merritt has a look at some of that reaction. Ellie?
Yeah, so much was trending about OSU on social media today, and a huge outpouring of support both for the first responders and for the victims. We heard from you on our NBC4 Facebook page. Aaron had said, glad everyone who was injured will hopefully be okay. OSU seemed to handle this very well. We also heard from Shane, who said, what's the most important thing about this story, I think, is that everyone survived except for the shooter. Rebecca had said, prayers will not help. We need to get rid of gun-free zones. But we heard from so many people who were offering their prayers, their best wishes, and their thoughts and prayers for the victims, as well as the first responders. I want to pull that up for you as well. Diane said, God bless that officer and each and every first responder. What a response. God bless the victims and everyone involved. So scary. Lisa had said, good job to all of the first responders. That officer saved many lives. And finally, Nathan said, my classroom was not in close proximity, but our professor was very professional in keeping everyone ready and calm. So much support for a very emotional day. Colleen and Mike.
Yeah, Ellie, we saw those pictures you had earlier of students just barricading themselves in, and you have to say that Officer Harujko really acted very quickly in a very high-stress situation. He witnessed the car running people over, so
practicing what he has learned in his 2 years on the force.
And a lot of families grateful for that tonight.
Well, we know that rain is falling throughout Central Ohio this Monday as we check in with Storm Team 4 meteorologist Dave Mazza.
Yeah, it's going to turn out to be at least one of our wettest, if not the wettest day so far of the month of November. Obviously, the rain coming at night, so we actually could share that role with tomorrow early morning as well. You can see, though, a lot of rain starting to show up on live Viper radar this evening. As we take this full, you can see the heaviest of the rain moving through parts of Madison, also far western Franklin County, moving up into Union and Delaware County. And this is all part of a big complex that's producing some very stormy weather down towards the south. You notice tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watch boxes, and a lot of warnings down in Mississippi and Alabama. But all this moisture is pulling off towards the east, northeast. So we're going to see all this rain that's through Kentucky right now continuing to move up into our backyards during the next couple of hours. The good news is the severe weather will stay to the south, and this little thin line of severe storms is starting to fade out to the west. So we will have a break in the action once this rain moves through before a second round of rain moves in with the cold front. Currently, we're sitting at 54 outside, have a south-southeast breeze at 10 miles an hour. That could be the biggest issue tonight is the winds. They will be picking up and becoming gusty at times, so we could see wind gusts pushing up to 30 miles an hour. So that will be one concern if you've got loose decorations outside, maybe for the holidays. Those may get blown around this evening, so something to think about before you head off to bed. 54 current reading in Mount Vernon, 48 Marysville, London, 47 in Washington Courthouse. Now, some of the numbers are dropping right now, but because we're going to stay mild for the most part overnight tonight, this is just going to be an all-rain event that we'll see. So through 9 o'clock, rain continuing to increase across our area. You'll see the rain still pretty much across all of the state of Ohio at midnight tonight, and then it will start to pivot off towards the east as we head towards morning tomorrow. Now, it's still going to be a breezy start today, which actually could help us out. That could dry the ground out just a little bit as we start towards that morning commute on Tuesday, and then it's going to start to clear skies during the mid-morning to late morning on Tuesday. We'll see more sunshine in the afternoon. A breezy day again, but a very mild one. So overnight tonight, 50 here in the city. Rain showers will continue to increase, and again, the winds will be an issue. Tomorrow we'll see 53 at 9, 59 at noon, and some sunshine in the afternoon, and 62. Enjoy it, though. We're going to cool a little bit, but be wetter again on Wednesday. Cold front pushes through late in the day Wednesday, and behind it, much more normal temperatures for early December. We'll see 44, kind of cloudy on Thursday, cloudier on Friday at 43. We'll keep the pattern going into the weekend. 42 Saturday, kind of cloudy, maybe a shower or a flurry late in the day on Sunday. Then we do at least get back up to 47 as we start next work week.
Alrighty, thanks so much, Dave.
And we'll be back right after this. We are going to continue to work to find out more about the attack on the Ohio State University campus that left 11 people injured, and as we know now, the suspect dead.
You can count on us to bring you a lot of updates on air and online at NBC4i.com, as well as the NBC4 app, and make sure to download that app and also sign up for push alerts to be informed as well.
And we will be there this evening as we wait for that federal search warrant at the apartment on the west side.
And if you're going to be out and about this evening, there is going to be rain moving in. Again, I did mention earlier in weather that it is going to become breezy to windy at times overnight tonight. This is going to be an all-rain event. I know we worry about that in November. It's just going to be a wet night tonight. Temperatures in the upper 40s to around 50 here in the city for overnight low. So a mild night tonight and an enjoyable one expected tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Dave. And we thank you for being with us tonight.
Please join us tonight at 11. NBC Nightly News is next. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.